Hey, my name is Lizzie Smiley, and I absolutely love helping people connect with their calling and all the tools they need to kick roadblocks and excuses right out the door so they can cultivate the life they dream about. If you want to launch, grow, pivot, or scale your Etsy shop, or you've always wanted to develop the mindset and skills to run your own business, then I'm your girl. I've had that entrepreneurial spirit going strong since my very first lemonade stand, and now I'm a work-at-home mama with multiple online companies and a full-time Etsy shop, all while being present with my kids for the everyday chaos and most important milestones. On this podcast, we'll talk about all things business, mindset, Etsy, creativity, dazzling our customers, and so much more. There's plenty of room at this table for you, so scooch on in and let's go. I'm holding nothing back. Welcome to How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy. I'm so glad you're here. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I hope that you had a great Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, unfortunately, the whole family got sick. We were all stuck at home. We missed the festivities. We made the best of it and cobbled together a bit of a meal. It was still a special day, but so annoying. I think we took the kids to one of those bouncy places, the trampoline parks. It's like in Texas, usually people are inside and outside almost year round because we don't get that cold here. So we thought we were okay, but apparently it was germ central because we ended up with a cold over Thanksgiving. But I hope that you had such a special holiday if you celebrated. If not, I hope you had a really chill day. And golly, I don't know about you, but Black Friday weekend was so exciting. It's really interesting. I think next year we should do a Black Friday episode because I think that whole thing has changed. And I actually started promoting Black Friday sales almost 2 weeks early because sometimes it feels like by the time people actually get to Black Friday, they've already spent all their money. So I think there's a bit of a strategy in doing a more longer term. I definitely got sales on Black Friday, but a longer term sale. I don't know. You guys should DM me if you think we should do a Black Friday episode next year. I think that would be really interesting. Maybe even a panel. I'm thinking as we go. Okay, but so kind of fun news. You guys know I'm an animal lover. We have a bunch of pets. We love them so much. They're a huge part of our life. They literally travel with us between our homes in Texas and Wisconsin. And we have a whole RV that we pull behind our car, not to live in when we're up there, but to travel. And we take little weekend junkets, but it's literally so we can take our dogs and cats with us. We are totally crazy. So I decided, and this is partly at the prompting of my husband, that it would be really fun to work with my daughter on a pet influencer account, like social media, because we should put these guys on the payroll, right? And so here's the funny part. So we have cats and dogs. We have chickens at the farm. We have some barn cats at the farm. We have a livestock guardian dog. We have a whole cast of characters. But I was just I understand marketing and I understand social media. And we have these pets, but we really need a hook. We need a hook. And it was all very kismet how this came to be because there's a lot of accounts out there that do this differently. But we ended up getting a pet hedgehog. And her name is Pecan. And she is all sass. She has an alter ego because sometimes she's sweet and she's Pecan. And sometimes she's sassy and she's Wanda. And I just want you to know, if your name is Wanda, I love you so much. It's not I used to occasionally use the reference to the whole Karen thing that you hear on the internet. And I accidentally really hurt some people's feelings who listen. So I took that feedback. I am not meaning it nasty at all. It's just that Aunt Robbie always wanted a hedgehog named Wanda. So when Pecan is hissing at us, we call her Wanda. No reflection on you if that is your name. It's a lovely name. But anyway, all of that to say, if you guys want to follow along, this is early days. We're going to see if I can do this. I mean, 50-50 odds. The handle is at Tales of Two Homes, and it's Tales, Tails, animal tales. So Tales of Two Homes on Instagram and TikTok. We're going to see what we can do. I'm teaching my daughter how to do the content. We're playing with everybody every night, getting some good footage. So it's just going to be a fun experiment and a really fun way to start teaching her how to market, how to build accounts, how to, do social media, for business. She's 10, so it'll be fun. So follow along if you love animals. The whole cast of characters will be there. And then, so that's just for fun. Also, I want to let you guys know that for 2026, I'm looking for podcast guests to fill my calendar. So a lot of you, you guys, it's so funny. You guys put these things on your bucket list or on your dream board and things like that. So many more of you are qualified to be a guest than you think. So if you're sitting there oh, that's not me, let me just tell you, there's only a few pieces of criteria. And then there is a link below to apply to be on the podcast. Minimum of 100 sales. I want you to have put in the reps, have at least 100 sales, kind of, have some proof of concept there. Your shop needs to have no intellectual property violations. So we don't have to share your shop on the show. As you know, it kind of depends on the niche because I want to protect people from copycats. But I do need to see your shop and look through it and make sure, there's no Taylor Swift stuff, there's no Disney stuff, there's no sports team stuff. Or if there is, you've got a license that you can show me that you can do that. You're not doing anything to violate any copyright laws. And then you just need to have like some lessons or tips to share. Just be ready to tell your story, share what's worked for you, share what the hard parts have been. It doesn't have to even be a unique product line, although I really encourage you, if you have a unique product that does well, I especially want to talk to you because bringing new stories on the podcast is so fun. And you guys know how giddy and excited I get. So those are some things to share. Please apply to be on the podcast. I'm looking to do a lot more stories this year. And I need to get some of you on the calendar. So go ahead, and what'll happen is if you are a good fit based on your application, I will reach out to you to book and schedule the date. And we will get on here, and you'll get a podcast planning email from me, and we'll go from there. So go ahead and apply if that sounds good to you. For those of you who are newer around here, or even if you've been here for a while, I occasionally, probably like 4 times a year, I do an FAQ episode, like where you can submit questions into me and I just rapid fire answer them on the podcast. They are often the most popular episodes that I do. There is an episode coming up. So there is a link. This is going to be like the mother of all show notes this time, guys. There's going to be a link below where you can submit your questions. Go ahead and use that link. Don't DM them or email them to me because things tend to get lost. I get a ton of messages, as you guys can imagine, and I never want anyone to feel ignored. Like, honestly, if you don't hear back from me, it's because I get too many messages and it's just physically impossible. So use the questionnaire linked below, submit your questions, and I will answer them on the upcoming FAQ episode. And that's basically what's it. So we're going to get into a major trend report today. This episode is sponsored by my Trendspotting membership because there's never been a better time to try it. If you've been in before and you took a break for the holidays, this is the time to come back. If you've never tried it, this is the time to start because I'm going to be running 7 weeks of the best bonuses I have ever run starting December 15th. So I'm going to tell you exactly what they are in a minute because the bonuses are on top of what you already get in the membership and they're literally insane. But if you're new to my little corner of the internet, you don't know what I'm talking about. I was always the girl who was intimidated by trends. Okay. I am not like when I need to pick home decor, I call my sister. If I need to pick an outfit, I don't have a good eye for it. I like go to TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like I've always known trends were really lucrative, but I always felt like I didn't get them. But I'm stubborn. And in true Enneagram 3 fashion, I decided a few years ago that I'm going to stop letting this hold me back. I'm not going to let something intimidate me like this. I'm going to master it. I'm going to become a trends expert. And by doing that, it made my sales and my student sales go through the roof. You should have heard the most recent coaching call for Trendspotting. Like almost the whole thing was people being like, Lizzie, it worked. Testimonial. Like I'm getting all these sales now. I tried this trend and it went crazy and I've done this. And now it was the coolest thing for me to see people who've literally been working with me for months trying to get this. And so I want you to know, learning trends is figure outable. You can be taught this if you're like me and it's not natural to you. So now what I do to help you guys, I release a weekly trend report. Every single Monday, you get an email of a list of the trends, but more importantly, I provide a detailed training video, like a trend video. I explain them. I show you examples. I show you how much money they're making. I show you how to apply them. I give you more ideas on how to leverage them. And I also every week provide 5 new product listing opportunities. So this is ideal for if you're in digital products or you're in print on demand products. I stick to opportunities in those spaces. They're a mix, but it's always things that are high demand and low competition. And I also give you the best keywords. Like I provide the SEO for those listings for you to be able to use. So not only can you go create something right away that has a better chance of selling because of the demand on it and the low competition, I'm also giving you the SEO to help you rank in the algorithm. I save you a ton of work. So when you join, you also get a whole library of 250 listing ideas from the past year that are just waiting for you. You have a treasure trove. And if you want, like a lot of you email me and you say, Lizzie, I really would like some more one-on-one support. Is there a way for me to be able to talk to you? How does that work? If you want my eyes on your Etsy shop, I host a monthly coaching call in the Trendspotting group, and you can ask me questions. You can request a shop audit. You can get around other like-minded sellers. It's a great resource for that. So since you've waited patiently, let me tell you what these psycho bonuses are, okay? December 15th, an Evergreen niche list. What this is going to be is like a PDF list of every single niche that we can think of on Etsy. So it's separate from the trends. Like a niche would be the book lover niche. The trend would be the coquette bow trend. They're two different things. Book lovers will always be there. Coquette will eventually fade out. You want the evergreen niche because when you learn a trend, you can then go recreate listings for all of the different niches on that trend. And I know that's different from people who say, niche down, focus on one niche in your shop. For some of you, that's the way that you should go. And you're just all pet owners, and that's all the things that you should create. But a lot of us in the digital and print on demand spaces, we like to create listings for my PNG shop. I create listings for all the niches. And sometimes the least expected ones are the ones that blow up because I apply the trends really early. So it's an evergreen niche list, December 15th. December 22nd, we're going to give you a 2026 goal setting guide so that you can get things out of your brain on paper. You're more likely to hit your goals if you write them down. What are you going to do in Etsy in 2026? We're going to help you with that. December 29th, it's going to be a font guide. You guys love when I do these. It's going to be the hottest fonts of 2026. We are going to show you all the fonts and where you can find them that are going to help you make the most cutting edge designs. Whether you are creating digital invitations or you are creating t-shirts or you are selling signs like I did. There are so many different applications. You're doing embroidery. You need to know what those fonts are going to be. January 5th, this is crazy. I'm giving you a complete digital planner, like we see on Etsy all the time that are like bestsellers, that you can resell. So I have invested hundreds of dollars and I've had my team work tens of hours on creating a comprehensive, super detailed digital planner. And I'm just going to give it to you. You can change out fonts. You can change out colors. You can add your niche to it. You can make it ADHD. The hard grunt work is there. You can make it your own and you can sell it on your own website. You can sell it from Instagram. You can sell it in your Etsy shop. It is yours. I can't believe I'm doing it, but you know what? Let's go. I'm giving it to you guys. January 12th, you're going to get a Mockup Bundle for digital products. The reason that's important is because a lot of times it's a little more abstract. Like, how do I show this printable that I'm selling? So we're going to give you all kinds of mock-ups for like PDFs and for if it was on a phone screen, for it was on a laptop screen, if it was on an iPad, we're going to give you a bundle of mock-ups. And we're also going to give you the prompts that we use to create them. So if you want to go and recreate the basic concept, but like add your own nuance to it, add your own, like maybe your design styles, we give you really clean ones and yours is more boho. You can just tweak the prompts and get exactly what you need. January 19th is going to be design templates. You guys love when I do this. It's where I basically give you a bunch of digital designs for the hottest trends, and you can go in and like tweak them to make them your own. You can change what the text says. You can pop your image in where we've got a picture. They're always really, really popular. They're great for anything in the digital product space you can be using those for. And they're really fun for you to go ahead and resell as you customize the design or put it on print on demand. And then January 26th, the pièce de la résistance is going to be a recorded SEO masterclass. So if you are listening to me and you're like, Lizzie, I need help with SEO, you're not really interested in investing in like my 6-figure secrets course right now to get my whole Etsy download, like that's not your thing, but you would love to just figure out SEO, then make sure you are in the membership, the Trendspotting membership, January 26th to get that recorded SEO masterclass. Most of these bonuses will not be there in the future. They're delivered just to the people who are in the membership at that time in the email. Sometimes we have to put them inside like the back membership area where anyone will get them later. But for the most part, these are just going to be linked in the email. I think all of these we should be able to, like, you're not going to be able to get them in the future. If you join the membership later. So make sure you're in by December 15th to get all 7 bonuses. You get your first month in the membership for just $17. No high price tag, no crazy $800 course thing. I don't sell anything like that. I keep things low ticket for you guys. You're going to use the code KEEP20 at checkout. That's going to get you that first month at $17. And after that, it's $37 a month. And FYI, if you've been in the membership before, you can use that code again. So if you're coming back in, you still can use that code, KEEP20 at checkout. Everything's in the show notes for you. But jump on it, my friends. We're gonna kick off 2026 with a bang. So, excited. I hope so many of you join me because this is going to be lit. So for this trend report today, this is different than what we've ever done before. I did a boatload of trend research on and off Etsy to create this trend report. The last trend report that Etsy put out was back in October, and it was really geared towards gift trends. Things like Nutcracker core and Goth Miss. It was very holiday oriented. That would have been helpful back in like August. For me, October, getting that from them is a little bit late. What I wanted to do is really help you go into 2026 strong, not talk about what's happening right now, but what you need to know, because going into Q1 here soon, all of this holiday stuff's going to be irrelevant. So this is research distilled down from a ton of resources, many of which I have linked for you when I was able to. I also scoured Pinterest to find out what they were saying, and it's all mixed in with my own expertise on what the trends have been and what's most important to us as Etsy sellers. So we're going to start with the projected colors for the year, and then move into the trend movements that I think are going to overarch and influence the mini trends we're going to see emerge. What's really interesting about the colors of the year is that there are many of them. And I actually think, now, obviously, like come January, Etsy's going to distill it down and have their own Etsy color of the year. Pantone's going to have their color of the year. That's fine. But I think the fact that a lot of these companies, many of them are paint color companies, are expressing their various colors of the year is an indication of almost the attitude of 2016, which, as I understand it, is very maximalist. And what that means is like boldness and freedom and a little less formal on the trends. It's kind of like, no, stop telling us what the trends are. Just, we're all going to pick the things that we like. Okay, thanks. Like almost kind of this rebellion against trends, which is really interesting. So I think there's going to be a lot of colors of the year. And I think that's very much the attitude of how people are going to be approaching everything. And they're just going to be picking what they like. But this was very interesting. So the first, many of these are paint companies. The first one is Benjamin Moore. They have referenced their color Silhouette AF655 as their color of the year. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's a rich espresso brown, but it has notes of charcoal. So it's not just like your straight espresso brown. It pulls a little gray, and it's absolutely breathtaking. And after this fall, having espresso, this whole year really, all of 2025, espresso was huge. This feels like her big sister. It just feels like a bit of an upgrade. The paint company Behr, Behr, their color of the year is Hidden Gem. It's a smoky jade green. By the way, I have these colors linked for you in the show notes because, like I said, mother of all show notes, I can't help myself. Yeah. So other projections from other sources actually also indicated kind of a darker teal. Like it's like teal's big sister again. It's kind of a little more mature, a little more refined. So I thought it was interesting that they had it be like this smoky jade because we are hearing other rumblings of this teal. There's another paint company, which I don't know if something's wrong with me. I'd never heard of it. It's called PPG. It's pretty well respected. It's named their color Secret Safari as the color of the year. And that's kind of like a yellow green with lime undertones. It feels very 70s. Super interesting. I think it'll be a great accent color for a lot of people. And then Sherwin-Williams, they actually projected a few different palettes. They had 4, which I thought was interesting. I guess it makes sense, right? There's going to be some different attitudes, some different themes as people go, because a lot of times these color things emerge in fashion and in home decor. So we're just seeing home decor talk about it earlier with the paint colors. So Sherwin-Williams' first one was icy, cool-toned pastels. Again, a slightly more mature. Pastels have been huge. We're making them a little more mature. They're icy. They're cool toned. They're not little girl pastels from Easter circa 1990. This is a more mature, elevated version. The second palette is a bold, warm, fiery colors like natural clay, buttery yellow. I've heard other sources, Pinterest, I believe, referenced buttery yellow and kind of these really rich natural colors. We're hearing a lot about bold colors, the maximalist, which is a whole trend we'll talk about. Number 3 was a sophisticated, it's a whole palette of sophisticated dark nocturnal colors. And so I would describe this like, think dark neutrals, but with a moody edge. I feel like we've been seeing that. Like, I feel like we've been, if you get any home interior images on your Facebook like I do, I've been seeing some of those more moody rooms. They're dark. It's not all that white, which, by the way, I still love the white because I'm a farmhouse girl at heart. But I do love a cozy, moody room. And that's the kind of colors, those dark neutrals. And then number 4, this fascinated me. We're still going to see a big trend of the foundational neutrals. I thought that was interesting because it seems like a lot of other sources are saying they're kind of out. But I'm wondering if it's kind of like the farmhouse trend where it never totally went out. It kind of just matured. It's maybe a little less popular. It's not like everyone and their brother has, farmhouse stuff now. But the foundational neutrals are continuing to bring in the money, which doesn't surprise me. I still buy them. Okay, so now let's go through the 7 big trend movements that are being projected, that many of them are continuing into the new year, maybe refining a little bit. I want to tell you what I found, what I think, give you kind of a summary. So, number 1 is less of a specifically design trend, but just to let you know that like there's this movement called AI assisted aesthetics, and it's less of a design style and more of just an acceptance of and like embracing of using AI tools to help in design. Even for a lot of artists and designers, it's not necessarily like they're bringing their own innovation with it, but they are starting to use the tools to stay relevant, to stay ahead, to be able to work faster. So the summary is that AI has officially gone mainstream and is now a core part of many design processes, blending human creativity with AI precision to generate textures, patterns, and layouts that both feel futuristic and organic. There's this whole kind of futuristic thing that we're going to be talking about more in other movements as well. And I know this is a very controversial topic even still for a lot of us as Etsy sellers. It's like it very much, I know I've said this before, but it reminds me of when the internet kind of went mainstream and people freaked out just thinking it was going to change and ruin everything. And you know what? Like there was bad that came with the good, and it's still that way with AI. There's a lot about AI that I'm watching. I'm not as worried about it personally in the Etsy space, because I feel like just like this described, for sure, are there people who are like kind of abusing it and using it in a way that just makes art feel less relevant? Yeah, but the majority of humans still gravitate towards the more artistic expression. They let me put it to you this way. People are actually really smart. Your customers are generally actually really smart, and they can see the difference between something that was thoughtfully put together with some humans' heart, creativity, ingenuity, and style versus something that's super mechanical and boring and just thrown out by AI. So there's this blending of those two things that I think people are smart enough to see now, and that gives me some hope. Other aspects of AI, I could go on a rant. There are things I'm watching very closely because they concern me. Let's just hope they at least cure cancer. I'll leave it at that. So AI mainstream. Number 2, this is more of an actual design style or like a design trend. So it's called the naive design. And it's the bigger trend behind what I've talked about over and over again, especially in the Trendspotting membership, which is the doodle style. So the naive design is expressed by lots of hand-drawn, imperfect, organic elements. So think like handwritten fonts, bold bubble lettering that have more of a hand-drawn feel. We have seen that all over Etsy, things looking a little more like doodle, a little more sketchy, a little more hand-drawn. So this appeals to buyers who are drawn to warmth, imperfection, and a sense of authenticity. These shoppers appreciate illustrations and lettering that feel handmade. See, I love it. Doodly lines, uneven shapes, playful textures, and childlike charm. They want designs that feel approachable, emotional, and personality-driven, rather than polished or corporate. 100%. This style resonates especially well in stationery, stickers, greeting cards, digital planners, children's items, scrapbooking kits, cozy home decor, and even your apparel, your print-on-demand designs, and for sure, I've been doing a ton of this with PNG designs. Naive design attracts customers who want art that feels human, heartfelt, and delightfully imperfect. Naive design buyers are the lovers of charm, playfulness, and imperfection. They're typically people who love doodles, quirky fonts, and hand-drawn lines. They love stationery, journalers, planner addicts, shoppers who appreciate a heartfelt, made-by-hand vibe, fans of cute, whimsical elements and character-rich art, parents, teachers, and scrapbookers, buyers who want warmth, personality, and emotional resonance in their designs, and people who are tired of polished corporate perfection. So these shoppers want art that feels human, warm, relatable, and delightfully imperfect. This is one of my very favorites. That's why I wanted to talk about it, like basically first. It's so fun, and I'm really excited to hear that it's projected to continue to grow. I can't wait to see other ways that it's expressed in the new year. Number 3 is It's called Heritage Revival, or sometimes referred to as modern heritage. And heritage revival is the vintage obsessed design trend that brings back traditional motifs. This is your chinoiserie, toile de joie patterns, antique florals, Victorian frames, and classic engraving styles, but reimagined with modern colors, simplified layouts, and digital friendly compositions. So it's the old world elegance meets modern digital design. It's an aesthetic that is exploding across home decor. It really has been for quite some time now. We're seeing it in branding, stationery, digital prints, literally everywhere. It appeals to buyers who love historical charm, ornate detailing, and heirloom quality visuals, but they still want something fresh and clean and updated for a modern life. And these shoppers crave sophistication, heritage, and the feeling of meaningful craftsmanship without the heaviness of true vintage. I'm literally obsessed. So, heritage revival enthusiasts or buyers are going to be vintage romantics, people who love anthropology decor, people who swoon over moody European interiors. So like those are two things that you could study. Like go to Anthropology or look on their website. Search, Google European interiors for some inspiration. People who love ornate botanicals, framed art sets, crests, elegant vintage buyers, brides, we're going to see this a lot in bridal, stationery lovers, monogram lovers. It's old soul meets modern aesthetic. Super fun. I love all of the things that it captures. I think I wasn't even totally understanding this trend before, and I feel like now it's really maturing in a way that we can put some guidelines around it. So I'm really excited, and I think for us a lot of like this is going to be important in fonts, I think, and in other elements that we're using, especially if you're like me in the digital space. But like if I was still selling signs, I would be paying attention to this, and I'd be maybe like in the corners of my signs doing some little patterns, adding a little something extra that makes it feel a bit more vintage. Number 4 is called neo minimalist, or sometimes it's referred to as minimalism 3.0. So it's again a more refined version of minimalism. It's not stark, it's thoughtful simplicity with soul. It's clean and simple, but warm instead of cold. And so it's going to appeal to buyers who want calm, simplicity, and authenticity. See, there's like a change here. It's not just clean. Many shoppers are likely to respond positively to designs that feel intentional, human, and uncluttered, especially in product lines such as home decor planners and wall art niches. Neo-minimalism customers want calm, clarity, and intentional design, but with soul. They tend to be people who love tidy spaces, uncluttered visuals, and soothing simplicity. They're fans of clean planners, modern home decor, and soft neutral palettes. So that's good to know to blend your neutrals with that. You could even try normal neutrals, but then try some of the moody neutrals. Aesthetic shoppers who want quiet luxury without the cold sterility. I think that's a really important nuance. People who use design as a calming force, organization lovers, productivity fans, buyers who want sophistication without fuss, those who value authenticity, clarity, and gentle warmth. So these kind of customers are going to gravitate towards designs that feel clean, human, simple, and deeply intentional. Okay, and so again, a nod to the fact that this is going to be the year of almost opposites, like because everyone's just going to do what they want. I feel like we've been moving into that for a while now, but like we're going harder at it. Number 5 is maximalism. So bold, high contrast colors. I pulled a quote from a website called Hemisphere DM that said, think bold colors, layered patterns, expressive typography, and visual clutter that feels intentional. This is going to appeal to buyers who love bold self-expression, rich visuals, and designs that feel energetic, layered, and full of personality. So this is going to be that Sherman Williams palette that's got like the buttery, the bold, bright reds, like the really like earthy but really loud. These shoppers are drawn to products that make a statement, vibrant colors, mixed patterns, artistic chaos, and unique storytelling. I feel like that safari color too could fit perfectly. They want their items to feel fun, expressive, eye-catching, and emotionally charged, especially in categories like digital wall art or normal wall art, stationery, apparel, stickers, and print-on-demand decor. Maximalism resonates with customers who see design as a form of identity and want their purchase to stand out loudly rather than blend in. So they're trying to make a statement. They're trying to show who they are. The emotional connection is going to be really important on this one because this is where your people are going to be like, oh my gosh, that's me. I have to have it, rather than it being something a little more vanilla that appeals to everyone. This is where some of you are really going to shine because you've been feeling stuffed into a box of having to match a certain vibe. And you're like, it's just not me. I'm loud. I'm bright. I'm colorful. And like, why don't people want this? I think you're going to see more interest in that now. Maximalism buyers are the expressive, personality-forward shoppers who want their purchases to make a statement. You'll find them among people who love bright colors, layered textures, bold patterns, fans of eclectic decor, expressive typography, and artistic chaos, shoppers who see design as self-expression, people who love art that sparks joy, energy, and movement, buyers who get bored by minimalism and want something visually alive, poster collectors, pattern lovers, home decor enthusiasts. That makes me think, like, if you do Tumblr wraps, oh my gosh, go bold. But also go minimalist. Like, do both. People who choose fun, drama, and visual richness over subtlety. These shoppers want art that is loud, fun, bold, unexpected, and impossible to ignore. How fun is that? I honestly love the juxtaposition of it all. Number 6 is retrofuturism. Plus Y2K continues. It's amazing to me how much it's continuing the steam on the Y2K. So nostalgia continues, but with a digital twist. Also, we'll be seeing more of the 70s and 80s influence going into 2026. It's going to feel very nostalgic, but with decisive futuristic components blended in. Kind of like we've been seeing, like it was like 90s, but slightly updated. It's just now going to be 70s and 80s also slightly updated. It appeals to buyers who love designs that blend nostalgia with imaginative, forward-looking elements. These shoppers are drawn to artwork that feels dreamlike, cinematic, and slightly surreal, pairing vintage color palettes or retro shapes with futuristic glows, so chrome textures, neon accents, or sci-fi themes. They want products that feel imaginative, bold, and visually unexpected, especially in categories like posters, apparel, phone wallpapers, or maybe actually even phone cases, digital art, print-on-demand decor. Retrofuturism resonates with customers who enjoy both the familiarity of the past and the excitement of the future woven into one aesthetic. So retrofuturism fans want the nostalgia mixed with some sci-fi imagination. This is what I think how it's like maturing a little bit, like the best of both worlds. These buyers tend to be people who love the 70s, 80s, and 90s nostalgia, fans of neon, chrome, surreal lighting, and digital dreamy worlds. Buyers who love cinematic and imaginative aesthetics, people who love futuristic but warm, retro-rooted visuals. Isn't that interesting? So it's like super modern, but it's got this like vintage feel to it. Almost like Back to the Future is sort of what I think of. Shoppers who enjoy bold posters, digital wallpapers, and apparel graphics. Aesthetic lovers who want something both familiar and wildly creative. So these customers want nostalgic comfort blended with imaginative, futuristic flair. And I think AI design is going to be a really special tool to be able to create this perfect match. Also, some of you are just going to smash it on your own because you're insanely talented and I'm obsessed with you. Our last one, number 7, is grandmacore, and I'm very delighted to tell you that it is growing. So grandmacore is the cozy, nostalgia-driven design trend that's bringing back the charm of traditional crafts. So that's where we're seeing the patchwork, the chunky knits, the floral prints, the handmade textures, the latch hook, all of it, but like with a fresh modern twist. Like, yes, people are buying things that are actually embroidered and embroidery is still exploding. So like run, don't walk. But also I've been seeing success in like the PNG space selling like digital designs that look like a chunky knit. It's really just two-dimensional and people are snapping it up because they just love the visual of it. Super interesting. But like talk about an updated version, right? So instead of recreating grandma's house, today grandmacore blends those vintage memory-rich elements with clean styling, updated color palettes, that part's key, and like contemporary decor. It's rising because people are just craving warmth, comfort, authenticity after years of sleek minimalism, and I think fear. Like, please make us cozy again. The result is a curated aesthetic that feels both familiar and new. So that's when you smash it. That's when you nail it, is when it feels both familiar and new. A celebration of craftsmanship and nostalgia reimagined for modern life and modern design. Grandma core buyers are the cozy nostalgia lovers who crave handmade charm. So like perfect for Etsy, right? They tend to be people who love patchwork, crochet, embroidery, floral wallpaper. They're fans of cozy textiles, cottage-styled decor, and handmade craft aesthetics. Shoppers who want warmth, comfort, and analog charm. Thrifters, knitters, sewers, and homebodies. I had to throw that in. People who want their home to feel soft, comforting, and lived in. DIY lovers who value sentiment and storytelling. Buyers who feel emotionally soothed by vintage craft visuals. Visuals. For sure it's visual, not vigil. These shoppers want, although maybe both, these shoppers want nostalgic comfort, warmth, and the beauty of handmade craftsmanship with a modern twist. So like, gosh, if I could summarize everything, isn't it interesting? Like, again, the opposite of it all, the juxtaposition of it all. We're seeing two worlds not collide, but like live harmoniously together, and inviting you and your shoppers to choose what feels most aligned to them. So that's what I've got for you. Watch out for the next trend report in Q1, because more of this will be established in the marketplace and we'll be able to talk some specific examples. And remember, if you want a weekly trend report, if you want to know what's happening real time trend wise on Etsy, that's my jam. That's what I'm really good at. So you can get that plus weekly listing ideas with the SEO, plus a library of over 250 high demand, low competition listing ideas, like just waiting for you, plus access to a monthly live coaching call with me. You can join, you can talk to me personally. There's never been a better time to join the Trendspotting membership, especially with the 7 weeks of insane bonuses starting on December 15th. So make sure you can grab the link below, use the code KEEP20 to get your first month for just $17. And after that, it's $37 a month. So I would love all of your feedback, like hit me up on the Instagram or email me, or if you're in my coaching group, comment. I'd love to know what you thought of this style of episode. Kind of quick and dirty, but like really, really detailed research to help you see the overarching themes that are going to continue forward so you can plan your Q1. And I'm telling you guys, we are going to the top in 2026. My students, like there are people who are talking a lot about Etsy being slow. And I know that some people are having that experience. My students in the Trendspotting group and the students in my coaching group are not saying that. They are saying, oh my gosh, it's finally clicking. Oh my gosh, it's working. Oh my gosh, I finally figured it out. It took a grind. I had to really work. I had to push. I had to learn. I had to study. I had to iterate. I had to take hard feedback sometimes. But like, this is working, and it's working at a crazy rate. I'm super tickled because you guys better believe I would come and tell you if I thought we were going downhill and we needed to jump ship and do something different. I'm going to be the first person to tell you that, and I'm going to come to you with a plan. But I'm telling you, that's not the experience my students are having. Etsy is alive and well. We're seeing great success. So I just want to thank you so much for being part of the How to Sell Your Stuff family. Each and every one of you means the world to me, and I'm so grateful for your time. I'm so grateful for you showing up to listen every week, or even just whenever you can. There's nothing more precious than your time. So please know I'm sending you love and warm wishes, and thanks for listening. I hope it was helpful. I will see you next week on the podcast. We're going to have Becca back, who's going to be sharing an update on her digital product shop that she started with me back in, I want to say it was May. And you will not believe the update that she has for you and what's working. We're going to get into all the nitty gritty because y'all loved her last episode. So see you then. Until next week, go make something awesome. Love you guys. Bye. And that's a wrap on this episode of How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're looking for more resources, head on over to howtosellyourstuff.com, where you'll find podcast show notes, all the links from today's episode, the blog, courses, coaching, and more. If this episode was helpful to you, awesome. The greatest compliment I can receive from you is a rate, review, and subscribe on this podcast. Not only will it allow us to connect again on a future episode, it lets me know I'm providing you with value and helps other people find this content more easily. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support. Have a great day and see you next time.